It's Ron Reader Digs the Universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe, and tonight, the morality in voting. Since as early as the 1980s, conservatives have been calling liberals baby killers for their support of abortion rights. They're wrong about that, of course, because fetuses aren't babies, and even if they were, denying women their bodily autonomy gets into some serious human rights shit, as we are seeing in the post-Roe era, when women bleed out in parking lots and emergency rooms across the South. So the baby killer rhetoric is just flat out wrong. But raising the point in itself gets one thing right. There is morality in politics, and there is personal morality in voting. People morally own the decisions they make on the ballot, whether they realize it or not. Now, to be fair, the sausage-making process necessary for compromise and crafting legislation inherent in a democratic republic such as ours gets into some morally murky areas sometimes, over which gentlemen can reasonably disagree. I'm not talking about everything in politics being mortal sin shit. There are legitimate gray areas. I'm talking about clear, black and white, obvious morality, like when Abraham Lincoln ran as an abolitionist in 1860, or when George Wallace ran as a segregationist in 1968, or when Donald Trump ran as whatever the fuck he is in 2024. As Noam Chomsky and countless others has observed, it is an elementary moral truism that people are responsible for the foreseeable consequences of their actions. Everybody knows what Trump is. He's a racist. More or less an avowed racist. He has promised over and over to implement racist government policy. We all know this. A Trump presidency will be a racist presidency. People of color, millions of them, are gonna get fucked, and everybody knows it. Voting for Trump is racist. It's immoral. But I voted on the economy. Yeah, how the hell does throwing black and brown people under the bus for your own economic benefit get you off the hook? You can't pick and choose this stuff. I mean, never mind whether it's true that he will actually improve the economy. You know, he won't. But, you know, Hitler revived the German economy during the Great Depression. And do you know what historians call the Germans who supported Hitler just for his economic policies? Nazis. This is how systemic racism works as well. All the privilege, none of the responsibility, out of sight, out of mind, not my problem. As long as I'm making good money, I don't care. The blacks are fine, and I'm not a racist. And thusly, the symbolic race, or the systemic racism continues as always. Racism is acting in support of white supremacy, whether you feel like a racist or not. And maybe that's the linchpin holding systemic racism together, all these people who believe that racism is how you see yourself, how you feel, rather than what you actually do. So we have a lot of people in this country who voted for Trump, and they must necessarily be racist, but it really pisses them off just even to go there. The conversations I have with some of these people are just surreal, especially with people of color who have voted for Trump. They're all supporting white supremacy and denying it until they're blue in the face. This country. I'm Ron Reader, and this has been Ron Reader Digs the Universe. Join me Ron Reeder, again next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe.